Welcome back, YouTube. It is Sucker, and today we are here back with another video in our 30 teams in 30 day series. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the New York Knicks. But before we even get into the video, guys, if you guys could please hit the like button and also hit subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to also hit the bell so you don't miss out on any video because it notifies you of when I post. I'm also trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm already about at 70, so if you guys could hit the subscribe button, I would really appreciate that. And I'm pretty sure that Julius Randle would as well. This offseason, basically the Knicks were able to re-sign pretty much everyone that was a free agent for them, with the exception of a guy like I think Reggie Bullock, or at least like a majority of their core players that were helped them get to the playoffs. They re-signed. They also got to sign Kemba Walker, who was in OKC, who I thought was going to stay in OKC and raise his value, but apparently not. And they signed him for like a 2-year, $18 million deal. So I mean, that's really cheap if you ask me. Oh, and Dwayne Bacon apparently also signed here, which I mean, I guess he could be your Reggie Bullock replacement. I don't really think so though. Oh, also Evan Fournier was probably their big free agent signing, unless you count Julius Randle's extension. Also, the Knicks basically did not have any sort of draft picks this year because they traded all their draft picks to teams like Boston, the Clippers, and I don't remember where else. I think OKC. I could be completely wrong. I don't remember. As for this team starting lineup, I'm predicting something around the lines of Kemba Walker at the 1, Evan Fournier at 2, RJ Barrett at 3, Julius Randle at the 4, and Mitchell Robinson running the 5. Off the bench, I see guys like Derrick Rose, Emmanuel Quickley, Alec Burks, Obi Toppin, and Nerlens Noel as the guys who are probably going to get majority of the backup minutes. But let's be real. With the way that Tom Thibodeau coaches, if you don't play well, he's going to play someone else, and it doesn't matter who it is either. Kemba Walker ending up on the Knicks was actually a big surprise, I think, to a lot of people, because I thought he was going to be a guy to pretty much sit in Oklahoma City and kind of raise his trade value, kind of the same way that Chris Paul did. I thought after that trade from Boston to OKC that he was just going to sit there, but apparently not. They waived him, and apparently he signed with the Knicks for really cheap, so welcome home, Kemba. The Knicks getting him for fairly cheap is pretty much a steal in my opinion. It's as much of a steal as getting Dennis Schroeder for like a $5.9 million contract. He looked really good in the preseason game against the Pacers. I don't know if he played in another preseason game because I haven't watched the most recent ones, if they were today, as in yesterday when you guys are seeing this. I just hope that he can stay healthy because the last couple of years he's been bothered by a bunch of knee injuries. So I mean, health is my biggest concern with him, but if he can stay healthy, the Knicks got themselves a really good scorer. So please also don't play him a million minutes, Thibodeau. I'm begging you. Evan Fournier signed with the bag with the Knicks, and I know that a lot of people aren't a big fan of his contract, but honestly, for the amount that guys are getting paid nowadays, I think that it's kind of a fair deal. I mean, look at the money that Duncan Robinson got. I know that Evan Fournier is older, but I mean, I think he'll be worth the contract, especially with the way that he's played. The guy is a sniper and can pretty much shoot from anywhere. He's going to be able to get steals here and there, so that'll be really helpful as well. And I mean, that's what the Knicks pretty much paid him to do, right? Just shoot the ball and kind of get a steal here or there. My webcam was out of focus right there. I'm really sorry about that. RJ Barrett looked so much better last year than he did in his rookie year. He's a guy that can score around 20 points a year, and I'm expecting him to hit around maybe 19 or 20. I think he averaged about almost kind of close to what he did last year, which I think was 18, or his rookie year. I think it was 18 points, closer to 17 and a half, but I mean, that is pretty much close to 18. So I think he could be a 19-20 point game scorer this year. I was actually a really big fan of him when he was at Duke. Actually, when he committed to Duke, I was really excited because I had heard about him for so long, and I was really excited for the guy. Call me crazy, but I really do like RJ. Him and Cam Reddish were actually my favorites at Duke over Zion. Crazy as that sounds. So yeah, shout out Steve Nash's godson. Julius Randle won most improved last year, and I think it was really well deserved. And I'm not saying this just because I'm a Lakers fan. I really think what changed his games was having a coach like Tibbs around. We all know that Tibbs isn't a guy that's going to mess around with his players. He wants to play them, and he wants them to play good. This was the Julius Randle I really wanted to see in LA, but obviously we never got that. He pretty much improved on every statistical category last year, and I know that he disappeared in the playoffs, but I mean, the Hawks played amazing defense on him, so I can't really blame him for kind of disappearing, or at least not being able to perform as well as he did. I don't expect him to perform like that this regular season, and I hope that he doesn't perform like that when they get to the playoffs again. Mitchell Robinson was basically injured for a majority of last season. I know that he got injured, came back, and then got injured again, but I do kind of see him being the starting center this year. The dude is legitimately a shot blocking monster, and I would love to have him on my team. But it wouldn't surprise me if Nerlens Noel started in his place, because I mean, Nerlens Noel basically kind of does the same thing, but Nerlens Noel was the guy who finished out last year. I keep saying Nerlens Noel. I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, if Mitch does start the year, I'm expecting him to pretty much do what he does, and that's to pretty much get blocks and rebound the ball, you know? Derrick Rose is probably the most unhateable player in the NBA, hands down. It's just so hard for me to, hate the guy. He's just... I love Derrick Rose, honestly. Like, I just want him to get a ring. I don't think he's gonna get it in New York, but I mean, if he could get a ring in the future somehow, I would just love it. Tibbs literally broke this man's legs like every year that he pretty much played. Well, not every year, but basically Tibbs kind of tore his body apart. But it's so weird because every time that he's coached under Tibbs, he just somehow is amazing. He was really the only bright spot on the Knicks roster last year in the playoffs, and I mean, I hope that he wins Sixth Man of the Year, or just I just hope I just want him to succeed, man. I just love Derrick Rose. D Rose is like I think he's like one of everyone's favorite players. So I mean, Derrick Rose, just keep going out there and doing you, dude. Emmanuel quickly was one of the best rookies for the Knicks last year. The kid has a lot of good IQ. It was just funny because his nickname is IQ, but I think he's got a lot of good IQ. He's got a lot of flashes of just being like a really great player. And plus now with a veteran point guard and Kemba Walker there, he might actually either take away from his minutes because you have Kemba and Derrick Rose on the roster. But I think that if he's given the opportunity, which I mean, with Thibs there, he's probably just going to get any opportunity if someone doesn't perform well. I just really expect him to, elevate his game even more than he did in his rookie year because I really do like IQ a lot. He's a guy who could probably average 13 to 14 points depending on how much he's going to play too. Alec Burks is a sharpshooter. And honestly, as much as I wish Reggie Bullock was here, I think Alec Burks is going to be okay here still. He's not going to provide the same amount of defense that Bullock did, but I mean, he can shoot the ball still, kind of just like Bullock did. But I mean, he is also being coached under Tom Thibodeau, so I mean, he can work a miracle somehow. Obi Toppin was the guy that I thought was going to be the Knicks power forward of the future once Julius Randle left like this year, but obviously he signed an extension, and now Obi Toppin just kind of looks like a guy that just might just be there. I remember watching the first game of the season and watching the dude just chuck shots up, and then he didn't play for like the next like 7 games, but then again he was injured, so I mean it was that too. But I don't know, I just find it funny that if someone were to look at his game log and see that he didn't play, that like, oh, he shot so many threes that they didn't want to play him. But like, he's a guy that is there for his athleticism. He's a really athletic guy. He gets dunks, he gets lobs, you know what it is. Well, he did start shooting threes in the summer league, so maybe his jump shot has improved, and maybe we'll see him shoot that a little more consistently this season. Like I said earlier, I think Nerlens Noel is a guy who could actually get starting minutes instead of Mitchell Robinson. Noel for the past couple of years kind of looked like a bust because I mean, he was drafted really high in Philadelphia, didn't really like get playing time because they had such a logjam with him, Joel, and Jahlil Okafor. And then he went to Dallas where he looked pretty decent, but apparently he lost out on a lot of money. I don't know, Rich Paul, what you doing, man? And then he went to OKC where he really earned a name for himself, or at least really like showed that he can still be like a really solid player in this league by just blocking shots. He doesn't rebound it well, unlike Mitch, but I mean, I can't see him starting over Mitch, especially if Mitch can't stay healthy at all. As for this team's record, I do think that Evan Fournier does make them better, but I do feel like a lot of the teams in the East, aside from the 76ers, for obvious reason, got better than them, or at least are still better than them this year. So I do see them probably hovering around like the 6th to 8th spot. I still think they'll be a playoff team if they are better this year with the addition of Fournier, which they obviously could be, and especially with Tom Thibodeau as the coach, as Thibs as the coach. I definitely think that honestly they could place anywhere within the top 8. At best, I do see 5 teams better than them, but of course I could be wrong. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. My name is Saiko. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe for more content. And yeah, I will catch you guys tomorrow for my 30 teams in 30 days on the Los Angeles Lakers. My favorite team, which I'm probably going to be very critical of, which I don't know if you guys are going to like. But anyways, I will see you guys then. Bye, guys.